Good morning, Moray Rabotai. Bezashem Minha today is going to be 6:35. Please be on time. 6:35 is Minha. The Halachot Muktze, if a person, for example, has a timer that is attached to the wall, that turns on the lights, that turns off the lights, and he sets it before Shabbat, which of course is permitted to do. He set it before Shabbat, and then the timer turns off the lights at a certain time, which he wanted it off, and it's going to be turned on, say, in another hour or 2 hours based on the timer. And he says, I don't want it turned on another 2 hours. I need to rest in this room. I need to continue having it off to extend what already exists. Meaning now it's off, I want to extend it. Is he permitted to go to the light switch itself and to just press on it when it's already off to keep it off? Right now it's on the on setting, but the timer shut it off. So he wants to press on the actual electric outlet, put it on off, so that way when the timer is triggered in another hour or 2 hours to turn it back on, it won't turn back on. So in essence, he's not doing anything right now, but it is affecting what's going to happen later. Hamovaya wrote a big tshuva about this. He said that in terms of causing the light to remain off, that's not a problem, because you're not turning on anything, you're not turning off anything. You're allowing the current state to remain. What's the comparison? Imagine if you had a person who had a fire, and somebody was coming from the outside to extinguish the fire. And he says, no, don't extinguish the fire. He shoos him away. He wouldn't say, oh, look, he's lighting a fire. He didn't light anything. He just shooed away the person who was trying to extinguish it. That's the same thing. Here, it's not that he's turning off. It's already off. He's extending the off. So that's not called turning off. That's just shooing away that which tried to turn it back on. And therefore, in terms of that, it's permitted. However, the question is, that switch that he has attached to the wall is Muktze. It's a Muktze switch. So are you allowed to press the button even if it's not really a violation of turning on and turning off, perhaps because of the violation of Muktze? So Chacham Ovadia talked about this, and he wrote extensively about it. He said there's a concept in Halacha, en Muktze b'mechubar. Something that is firmly attached to the wall does not have the status of Muktze. However, even though he wrote that, he did feel that there was a little bit of a counter argument to that. So Ovadia said what you should do from before Shabbat, make a stipulation. You could even do this once every Shabbat or once every year. Make a stipulation that sometimes I know I'm going to need this switch, so I'm stipulating that if such a situation happens where I'm going to need to extend or shut off and do it in a permissible fashion, so that would be mutal for me to do. I'm making a condition that in terms of the prohibition of Muktze, it's not going to be a violation. Obviously, you can't make a condition to stam chas v'shalom, turn on a light or turn off a light, but in terms of the very specific violation of Muktze, you're allowed to make such a condition in the case where it's already attached to the wall. So it's very important to get this halacha properly, because if a person mistakes this halacha and doesn't get exactly the same situation, he makes an extension to some other situation, he's going to be mehalei Shabbat and not know this is a very specific heter for the very specific case that I mentioned. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.